Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
8, 7,
This is Houston, say again, please.
5,
Houston, we've had a problem.
3,
We've had a main B plus undervolt.
0.
Roger, main B undervolt. Okay, stand by at 13, we're looking.
Hello everybody and welcome to this first episode on Rendezvous with the Stars, and we have some guests today. We actually have 5 stars here today, and on top in the left corner we have Brett Colin Shepard. Hi Brett, could you please present yourself? Tell us who you are.
Yes, hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Brett Colin Shepard. I am the administrator of the Lunar Anomaly Research Society. I hope that we can get together for a while, and talk about all of these things. I've been doing this research for quite a few years, and was introduced to it when I was 15 years old in 1982, and that's who I am.
Yes. Hi Brett. and we
Hi.
have just to the right of Brett we have Martina Granier. Hi Martina.
Hi Thomas, hi everybody. Yes, I'm very proud to be an administrator on Rami's group, EMI, Exclusive Mars Images, and also on your group, Thomas, the Zoom Club. It's far too long to say it all. And also, Neville's kindly invited me to be administrator on history groups as well. Thank you, Neville. And I am absolutely enthralled with the subject of Mars research. I have been for many years. And yes, I don't think I can see myself getting it out of my system anyway.
But welcome Martina.
Thank you.
And we have my very good friend Rami Bar Ilan. Welcome Rami.
Thank you, Thomas.
Could you say a few words about yourself?
Of course, my name is Rami Bar Ilan. I'm from Israel. I administrate Exclusive Mars Images, and I've been researching UFOs for a long time, many years, maybe 20 years or so, probably more. And I got very interested in the Martian images from NASA because I saw artifacts in there and things that don't fit with what the space agency is saying really to the people. And when I saw that, I joined Neville's group, Alien Life, a couple of years back. And I started, and actually I wanted to make an art project about Mars. And then I just got I sucked in so strongly. It was so powerful, really got me. And I've been doing this for the last couple of years.
So now you're actually working almost 24 hours a day to find anomalies and post in the various Mars and Mars groups.
Hours a day, but I put a lot of time.
Yes.
It's job.
We're glad to have you here, Rami.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
And just below Brad Shepard and Martina, we have Neville Thompson. Hi, Neville.
Hello, I think everybody knows me. I'm Neville Thompson. I created the Alien Life group. Been doing this for a few years now. I don't really post much of anomalies at the minute because I basically make the gigapans for everybody, which takes up a lot of my time, and I'm busy doing other stuff as well at the minute, but I can't really say what it is. Secrets. But that's me basically. I think everybody knows this. I've been around for years. I give people bad reviews sometimes, but you know, that's the way it goes. I'm hated and loved at the same time. So that's basically me. Okay.
We are glad to have you here, Neville. And we have a new star between us here, and some of you out there probably already know the name Billy Carson. Welcome, Billy. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, very happy to be a part of the group. I really want to thank everyone for welcoming me and bringing me in. The most beautiful thing that I've seen so far being involved here is the evolution of everybody, not only from the people that have been in here involved in this a little bit longer than me with posting anomalies, but actually the people that even are new. So I'm very excited about it. I live in Florida in the United States. I own several corporations and several other nonprofit corporations as well. One of them is Forbidden Knowledge, and probably I would say about maybe 10 years ago, stumbling across Worldwide Telescope, I came across some Mars images on my own, just by accident, and I saw some things immediately that were out of place, and that's how I got involved or excited about looking more into Mars. I started cutting up my own anomalies just randomly and saving them, for myself, and over time it just became more of a hobby. So I was really happy to find, these Facebook groups. I really didn't know they existed until just a few months ago. And then Rami was nice enough to accept me into his group as an administrator. I also have my own group, Mars Discoveries and Solar System Anomalies. And I'm very excited about the opportunity to press forward and help bring disclosure to as many people as possible. And that's what it's all about.
We are very glad to have you between us here, and we hope that we will have a good time, all of us here. So welcome to all of you, and myself. I am Thomas Markey. I'm the founder of Mars Moon Space Photozoom Club. I'm your host here today, and today we are going to talk about some pictures, and we have 5 pictures here today that we are going to get some comments from these persons that are present here now. So welcome to the first episode of Rendezvous with the Stars. So let's get started. The first picture we are starting with today is a picture that Brett Collins Shepard sent me of Copernicus crater. Is that right pronounced?
Copernicus.
Let me see if I can find it out here somewhere.
Like the ancient astronomer.
Yes, we have it here. You see that?
Yeah.
Yes, great.
Yeah. Yes.
Brett, you got 1 minute to tell us.
Okay, I will start. My name's Brett Collins Shepard. I'm going to introduce this image. It is of Copernicus crater, and many are familiar with it from the picture of the century. This is, of course, backwards, and you'll also notice that it is on a slide, like you would show a slide in, in an old projector. Now, this particular image is an original image that I got. I actually hacked into a university computer and took it.
You did what?
I hacked into a university computer and I took this image because I knew it existed.
That's
Okay.
great.
And this particular image, the evolution was an eventuality that the LOIRP, the Lunar Orbiter Image Recovery Project, was going to basically tamper with it and make it look nice for postcards and for the Smithsonian Institute. What they did was they tried to scrub out all of the anomalies, but there's so many of them, you can't really do that. In the middle of the picture is like a laying down old man or something. If you were to look at it just as artwork, straight on, like a two-dimensional image, there's all kinds of embedded imagery in it. There's also some obvious things that you guys are familiar with, like the Sphinx-looking thing in the middle of the crater. And up in the left-hand corner, which is in the right-hand corner in the other one, it would be like a sort of a bull sitting on a ledge or something, looking out. It's like a bull creature, or like a goat creature, or something like that. Everyone's familiar with that anomaly. It's pretty old. This is also the same image that John Lear was working with, that said there were mines, and you can see where there's like a strip mine on the side over there, where it looks like trucks have been driven in and out, and all of that. On the top part, there was actually part of a base that I noticed And it must exist because they totally scrubbed it out in the end product of the Smithsonian Institute image. That it's on the horizon on the top in the right hand corner in this image, where there's looks like a dome or a UFO or something like that, and some buildings, and this became a little bit clearer in the higher resolution image that was put out later to the public by NASA. This was a long time ago. I saw this image in 1982, believe it or not, and it was shown to me in a slideshow in an art room.
Can I ask you one, Christian?
Yes.
In what distance are these images taken?
This particular image was taken while the lunar orbiter was crashing, and it was taken at quite the distance. I would say about probably 200 miles, from the crater. But they basically zoomed in because the focus of the camera was on the crater, not anything in the foreground or whatnot. So they had very good resolution for this particular image, and that's one of the other things that I found fascinating is that they would focus on the background, that they would bother to focus on the background. So they are saying something with that, that they're looking at the particular crater and the image. They're looking for something in particular,
I know. Sure.
Yes, this particular image is the first time we've really seen the moon up close. As far as seeing the moon up close, the way it really is. And even though
I'm sitting here, I'm seeing anomalies all over the place
already. I know you are. Yes.
Yeah.
There are both embedded imagery anomalies in this image that I feel that actually means something to our society. Our ancient past. And there are also many little buildings and everything else you can see. I actually have a picture of this particular crater when it was under construction earlier than this.
Okay.
So it's a very strange image, that's for sure.
Yes.
I'm proud to introduce it. I think you'll find a lot of anomalies in it. It's one of the key images that started me off with anomaly hunting.
Martine,
so,
what do you think about this image?
Well, I must admit, I do remember it. As I said last week, it's been many years since I've actually studied anomalies on the moon. It did fascinate me at the time before Mars took over. And yes, I mean, I can see some very, very strange things, quite a few things in that image. Yeah, I would definitely have to get a better look at it. My laptop is not doing it justice, I don't.
What about you, Rami? What about you, Rami? What do you think of this image?
I've seen this image before as part of John Lear's stuff, and I have it somewhere in my archive as quite a large file, and it is stunning. I think John Lear published few of them at the time, years back.
How about you, Neville?
Yeah, I can. I've actually got the image of when what Brett was saying when it was first getting constructed. I've got the image of that. It was part of a few images that a bloke sent us. I was busy doing some images for his film, and what's his name, man? It's gone. My brain's gone. Anyway, I was part of a few images that he sent us, and it's really that I hadn't seen that image before that Brett just showed us, So it's certainly been a while since that first image was taken, you know. I can see things in it. I would have to get a clear image because it doesn't come up very clear on Skype, you know. But it's really full of stuff like it is.
I'm gonna put up a link to this image if I can get one. So I'm gonna add it to the YouTube video description here. How about you, Billy? What do you think of this image when you are seeing this?
I think it's a fantastic image. Just looking at it, even though you can't get that clear of a view through Skype, even with the distortion from Skype, I was still able to pull out many 90-degree angles, many objects that appear to might be structures, and also something on the ground in the forefront that appeared to be not a natural, object. It appeared to be massive, whatever it is. So it appears that whoever put it there was putting something that had to be viewed from above. So it's a pretty exciting image. I'm really looking forward now that this was brought out. I thank you so much for bringing this out because I'd like to definitely download this image and actually take a good look at it myself.
It's a good one, yes. It's a really good one. Thank you, Brad, for sharing that image. Martina
You're very welcome.
Martina has sent us an image also. I'm just going to find it here. All right. This is Martina's picture that she chose to bring on to the debate today. The hand. And that was Bob Caldwell that uploaded this, as I remember. Am I correct?
That's right. It was Bob. I think several people have sort of done enhancements on it. I think Rami has as well. I don't know. It just, pardon the pun, this one really gripped me when I first saw it. And I thought this has to be my smoking gun. I was sort of reading about the process of petrification and mummification, and I thought this is a perfect example of these processes, you know, and that it was an indication of the conditions at that time on the planet that would have created this process. There's been a lot of debate as to whether the hand is facing up or down. To me, it's definitely down. The fingernails are beneath. You can almost see the dried up tendons across the top of the hand. It is a very poignant one for me, this. I found several rocks, if you like, in quotes, that look like hands, but this probably tops them all. It reminds me very much of an antique shop that my grandfather used to have, and the Victorians were very keen on stealing a lot of stuff from Egypt and parts of mummies, and very morbid trend it was at that time. And he came across one of these hands, an Egyptian hand, in a glass case. And at the minute I saw this one, it reminded me of this mummified hand. I don't know what the other guys think, but
let's ask them.
Okay.
Brad, what do you think of this image?
I think it's very fascinating. It's very classic of some of the old archetypal structures that you'll see on Mars. It seems like there's a lot of I don't know how big this is. I'm assuming that it's not that big. You know,
it's small. It's
Okay.
small. I think it's about 5 or 6 inches big, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. If it's that small, yes, it's very classic of some of the of the mummified type, you know, things that Martina was mentioning. It does look like a hand, you know, and I mean we should look at it that way. It looks like a hand, you know. It's not a rock or something like that. It could be a petrified hand or a rock hand or something. Yeah. But it's definitely very accurate about what Martina, the way she sees it. It looks exactly like that.
Rami?
The thing that fascinates me about this image is not only that it's got the very precise anatomic characters of a very complicated part of the human body, is a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what struck me was the position, and
As if it's holding something.
Michael Ivey called it the death grip, and I totally agree with that. It's I don't know, it's very emotional. It creates some gut feeling.
It does.
Very strong, very powerful image.
It is.
So Rami and I, and Neville, being artists, I think we instantly recognise,
Yeah.
parts of the body and the positioning, that kind of thing. I think straight away we tend to sort of. I mean, I often laugh with Rami about this because we're drawn to similar anomalies, and I think it is because we're artistic.
Neville,
Yeah.
Neville,
The larger thing.
Yes, well, it is a hand, yeah, it's facing downwards. You can tell that. You can see where the knuckles are being. You can see the fingers curled round something, you know. I actually had another image where it actually, there was something actually coming out the bottom of it, you know, as if it was gripping something. I don't know whether this is taken from the PDS or from the JPEG images. I think the PDS one shows a bit more like I've got it, but I never sent it because I didn't know this was going to be on. But yeah, it is a hand. Yeah, it's a hand that's facing downwards, and it's actually gripping something. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yes.
very good. I like it.
What do you think, Billy, about this one?
This one I actually did a little research on myself because it really drew me in because like Rami was saying, it's an emotional piece. It does look like a mummified or petrified remain. When you take the actual what appear to be fingers, and if you kind of take them and break them apart and put them in a straight line and mark where the knuckles are in Photoshop, you can calculate the Fibonacci sequence in the fingertips, in the full appendage. So but that tells you that you're dealing with a situation where something is obviously, if you're going to go by the Fibonacci sequence or in the golden section, it's most likely a fantastic piece of art or formerly a real biological hand, something that was actually alive or was created by an artist. So it tells me that it's got intelligent design in it.
Can I ask you guys one question? Because now I'm sitting and looking at this. I'm trying to enlarge it a little bit, but I'm using the normal Windows photo view, and it's not very good. It gets pixelated. But can you see my little arrow here?
Right now, I can't see. I only see your view. I can't see.
On what looks to be the second finger on top of it.
I can't see anything.
No. I think we need to download it in a higher resolution. But it looks to me like something that could be used as a jewelry on a ring or something is still sitting on it. But
oh yes, I see that. Yes,
yeah. It looks like I had a ring with this little skull head as when I was a teenager. I thought it was cool back then to walk around with all those stuff, And this little feature here reminds me of actually the ring I was wearing as a teenager. Yeah. But of course it's not a ring. I don't think so. I just had a déjà vu from my teenage year and that ring I was wearing at that time, because it does look like a tiny little mouth and eyes and and nose, but
It's not actually. Somebody else has said the same thing to me, so yeah, they picked up on that as well.
okay, it's a cool one. Rami, I have a picture from you here of what you call the lotus lady. I'm gonna find it here, and can you see it here?
I cannot see it yet. I just want to point out that Lotus name was given by Will Ferrar.
Will Ferrar,
Okay.
yes. So this is I think this is a great image. It's one of the best, and I remember the day this image came out and you published it. And I remember the storm it created on that post, and all the comments came in, and all the likes that came in, and it was like, wow, and people were like, whoa, wow, what the fuck, and people just went crazy, and that picture went viral, and it got taken by other big YouTube channels and used worldwide, and everybody just saw that picture almost the day after it was worldwide, went worldwide, and that was awesome that day. You remember that day, Rami?
Yes.
Yes.
I think I named it the mother of all finds.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Thanks.
But Brad, you're first in line. What do you think of this picture? Do you see it on the screen?
Yes, I see it.
Good.
It looks like there is a naked woman that's sitting on some kind of chair or something like that. And I'm probably way off, but that's what I'm seeing. It looks as though it looks like there's a face that's laying on its side, that's looking away. There's also it's very interesting what the nude woman figure is looking at. Artistically, that looks like a nude figure. It's what it looks like, and she's looking in the other direction. And when I've seen this in images, and I follow the eyes of what the character is looking at, I always find something else. And it seems like she's looking at that series of rocks that's forming another image of sorts. I'd have to take some time looking at it, but that's what I see right off the bat.
It's a great picture. It's a really great picture. Martina, what are you saying to this one?
I think it's an amazing picture, and as you know, I was going to ask you to put it up, but I thought that other people would have requested it as well. I initially thought it was a statue, maybe because of the coloration, but I never saw it as a figure sitting in a lotus position. I immediately thought that it was a woman with a child on her lap, feeding a child. Yes, it is interesting to wonder what she may be looking at. There's a strange anomaly to the left as well, very odd shapes going on there. But the thing that intrigues me most, and I've talked to Rami about this because he's also discovered the same thing, is that many of these figures appear to have these things that look like beads that are attached to them and disappearing off somewhere. I've done a lot of thought about this kind of thing, and I'm wondering if in fact that it's some kind of process whereby they're extracting or creating oxygen. I'm calling them breathing tubes for want of a better name, really.
Yes.
But they have appeared in several images. In fact, I put up a composite showing 6 images and some of Rami's as well, where they're all attached to these things. So it's food for thought. Maybe because of the lack of oxygen, there's some way that they are processing, or maybe extracting fluids from underground. I don't know.
Neville?
I found images of people's heads with boxes in front of the mouths. That's what it could be. It could be some kind of oxygen refining. Yeah, it could be. I found loads of them, and I've always wondered what they were. It could be something to do with filtering out something that's in the atmosphere so that they can't breathe. But the image there of Rami's, it looked like a woman sitting. She's got a leg up in a pose, sort of like, with her arm coming down. She's actually looking at something. There's actually something else being hidden on top of that rock that she's looking at. You can actually see little bits that haven't really come through. But she's actually looking at something on top of there. You can see something's been taken out.
Maybe there's another figure hidden behind her.
I don't know, it could be anything. I would have to have a look at the PDS image because this was probably, it's been taken from the JPEG image. You're better off actually having a look at the PDS image, which should probably be clearer, you know. I'll do that after this and see what comes up. But it definitely is a figure. It's a pity it wasn't really
It's either a figure
clear, like, because it does look good, like.
Billy?
Yeah, this is an amazing find. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I also thought, like Martine, that it was a woman with a baby in the lap with one leg up, maybe even breastfeeding the baby. The thing about that image is, if it's not a sculpture, think of the implications, because I've also found many what appear to be actually an animator or something that might be alive with no clothes on, with no shirts on. And if Mars is supposed to be, 200 degrees below zero, what are these beings doing with no shirts on? So if that's an actual biological entity with no shirt on, that tells you that maybe life can evolve in ways that we haven't even thought of, or maybe combination of both. It's not that cold on Mars, which, I've looked at the REMs every day, and the REMs is now going up. Mars is heading into its summer zone. I think 2 days ago it was approximately 57 degrees Fahrenheit on Mars. So the temperature is starting to increase every single day, just like we're going into our summer over here in the North America. They're going to their summer at the same exact time, which is pretty amazing. And the anomaly that she appears to be glancing at or looking over at, right next to it, appears to be what I would consider to be maybe some type of a vehicle or storage cabinet or something. But the fact that this entity, if it is really an entity and not a carving, that appears to be shirtless, tells you a lot about maybe the temperature on Mars isn't as bad as we've thought.
Exactly. Can I just say there, Brett, that when I've come across these forms and figures, it's interesting to notice the length of the shadows. Very often they appear when the sun is at its highest. And it makes me wonder that if there is anything going on underground, this is the time of the day that they emerge. If ever you come across things like this, have a look at the length of the shadows. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, it's it's not it's not likely that they would show a public image at all with anything that reflects life at all. So to see these things manipulated or smudged out or distorted, would be a common theme. Another thing to think about is on another planet, they may consider human beings on Earth as important, or as gods or something like that, because we're all connected and we're communicating with them on other planets. So they may have reverence for us as well, and that's why we see some of the things that are from Earth on places, like different moons of Venus or something like that, or on Mars, or on the moon or something. That may be a possibility that it is a universal communication.
Rami, you said something. What was it?
Yes. I wanted just to point out that there is a dome on the left side of this image. It looks very mysterious and fascinating.
Completely, the material is completely out of place, isn't it?
This is the dome we're talking about here, yes, in the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't actually notice that before you said that. Now, yes, that's true. There is something that looks like, or have the dome shape. Yeah, it's a great one. We have a picture from Billy Carson. That's actually one of Ramid's old findings. Let's check it up here and see this one. You all see this one here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Billy, what did you thought of this one?
Well, I see it in one of the smaller boxes, but that's okay. I'm glad you were able to get it up. The first thing that popped out for me, the reason why I chose this as my favorite image or my most impressive image that I've ever seen, is because it appears to be reflective materials that are manufactured. I mean, typically you don't get this type of reflection off of just regular rocks. Typically, I mean, you can in nature, you can, but the way that it appears to be constructed, I mean, very few things can reflect like that. I mean, it would have to be, well, if, on Earth standards, it would be either aluminum, magnesium, brass, copper, bronze, titanium. You know, one of those type of metals typically would be reflective or considered reflective metals on Earth. And another thing that stood out for me with this is everybody's always talking about the civilization on Mars is so many millions and billions of years old, and it's so ancient, and it's Atlantean, and so forth and so on. When I talked to a metallurgist about 3 months ago in reference to some of these objects that we're finding that appear to be metal, we don't know for sure, but we're speculating that they appear to be metal. And I asked him if this object or these objects are indeed made of these particular types of metals, how long can they withstand the test of time before they turn into dust? He told me that typically, even with reduced oxygen content, that these objects probably wouldn't last more than 80 to 100 years before they completely begin to crumble and turn into dust. So the fact that this object is sitting out here out in the open and still appears to be still appears to have structural integrity, kind of almost hints to us that this object may not be as old as as we've been told some of these things are, or as we speculated some of these things are on Mars are. This object might not be as old as we think. It may be more recent. It may be 80 years or less that this object was put out here in this field. So that's something to really consider. The fact that some of these objects, if they are metallic in nature, even with a reduced oxygen content, should not, according to a professional, last structurally more than 80 to 100 years without completely beginning to crumble and turn back into dust. So that's something to really consider, and that's why this object stood out to me more than any other object.
It's a good object, that's for sure. Brad, what's your thoughts about it?
Yeah, it's very fascinating. The color of it reminds me. Me and Neville pointed out on the Curiosity, I believe it was, that there was a path, and we saw this big gold nugget, in the corner of the image, and the material reminds me of that. And NASA finally came out and said that was the landing stage for the Curiosity rover or something, and I believe that's a lie. I'm sorry. I believe that's I don't know. But Neville said, yeah, I think it is the structure or whatever. But it's interesting that the film makes it look metallic like gold, So I'm not exactly sure about the color, but the light and shadow is something specific to look at. Like Billy is saying, the light is something to really look at. What can make that kind of a shine? Because that's pretty extreme. And it would have to be some kind of shiny object or water or something. Metallic or water, ice, something like that.
Martina?
Well, you're asking me to comment on a subject that's much more blokey than the sort of things that I cover. But it's incredibly fascinating, and it's so hard to sort of get out of the earthly mindset. We've got to remember that it may be a metal that we know nothing of, I know that gold never tarnishes, and I found an anomaly a while ago that looks as though it's pure gold. But I don't know, it's extraordinary, and yes, it's true that the light bouncing off it definitely indicates that it is metallic. There's other colours there as well, isn't there? It's almost as if it might be made of different materials or something, but it certainly is a very, very old one.
Yeah.
Rami?
What the coach said about how old it is very important, because I have noticed, I think it's already been more than a year ago, that on some anomalies, and I wrote it in the posts at Alien Life, maybe Neville remembers, it doesn't look to me like millions of years old. It looks to me rather than, I don't know, maybe 50 years old, 100 years old.
Yeah.
I also noticed some disturbances in the ground, and they are not fresh like yesterday, but maybe 20 years, 50 years that heavy machinery was there. I can see it. And the only way I can refer to it is like when I see it on Earth. It's a very similar effect. You see that been heavy equipment been walking the ground, walking the landscape, and left, and how it looks 50 years later. So I saw things that remind me of that also. So I think that we may consider that the activity on these planets can be also very recent.
Neville,
Yeah.
what's your thought on this?
I actually don't think it's metal. I think it could be made up of volcanic rock, because some volcanic rocks can be really shiny, and when the sun shines off them, you can get different colours coming off them as well, you know. I found that on some things that have been made, they've actually made up of different things, as if they've been scavenging about and trying to find things that's the right shape, or find something that would fit on something to make like the bigger piece, you know. I've actually found that thing that it's like made up of other different types of material, you know. So I think it could be different types of rock, you know, but you can actually see down where the arm is, you can see stripes around the arm. Now I've found other objects with these kind of stripe marks on them, you know. It could be some type of coloration, you know, like the Egyptians used to use certain colours and stripes, you know. I'm not saying it's got anything to do with Egyptian, but it could be just the way that they decorated things, you know, the type of patterns and stuff they put on it. But the reflections of it shows that it's really more detailed than what we can see. I mean, I wish we could have got a better image of it, but the way that Rami's brought out the colours on it's amazingly brilliant.
Yeah.
That's it. It's great.
It's a good.
It's a great one. It's a really great one.
That's interesting what Neville said about the Egyptian colouring on things. Rami showed us an anomaly. It was like a rod, something almost looked serpent-like, and it was striped with quite a bright blue stripe on it and gold. It looked as if it was blue and gold, and it immediately reminded me of the staff that I think it's famous, the image of Tutankhamun holding the you know the one I mean?
Yeah,
I immediately thought of the Egyptian style of colouring objects.
Well, I've actually found pictures and drawings of snakes around people's necks, you know. I'm wondering what's going on. I mean, not just once, I found it 5 or 6 different times on different things, you know. And it's something to do with serpents or snakes and women, you know. I basically think women were the most dominant sex on Mars, because you don't see any images of males, you always see females, you know, drawings of females and things like that. We're trying to say that women were more dominant in Egypt as well. Like, what the hell has Brett got there?
Is that the volcanic rock you're showing us, Brett?
Yes, this is a rock from Arkansas, and it has a fish on it or whatever. And see the fish on it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just wanted to show you that can be very shiny, and I also have another that looks like a bone.
The shiny on there.
This one looks like kind of like a bone or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a rock, and it looks like wood or a bone or something like that.
Yeah.
This is petrified wood
Mm-hmm.
of a cypress tree.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see that. Interesting enough that it looks. I'm trying to get the right angle.
I can
The
see a
light
reflection. I can see a reflection off of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
See the reflection. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
We can look at these things.
But right
Those are good things to point out because we have to remain objective.
Yeah,
in-
we're analyzing an image. You know, we're not. We shouldn't really even assume that NASA is telling the truth, and that's of Mars or the Moon.
Right.
You know, that's a really rough thing to say to anomalists. You know, but that's something that I know for a fact that they are showing us pictures of the Moon and Mars, but they are completely sanitized.
Right.
You know, they're really doing a good job doing that.
It was a good point with the rock. We still need one more picture, and that's the picture that Neville uploaded.
But wait, I got.
Oh, sorry.
I got
Yes,
to
Rami.
understand this point. Just 1 minute.
Yes.
From Brett. Are we seeing? Is all this is bullshit? I mean, we're seeing only like completely.
No, it's not complete bullshit. They miss things.
He just wanted to show off his pretty rock. That was.
Yeah, they miss a lot of things, you know, that and we should really observe with our eyes and our human experience, you know. These images are not what they appear to be, and NASA is somewhat telling us a half truth because the images are completely sanitized for the public. And that means they don't want anything to be out of place with their religion and their politics or anything else, you know. So they're going to be sanitized. Everything is going to be debriefed, you know, for the public.
Rami,
The images
give Rami 1
from
minute.
Mars.
Yes.
Yes, they are authentic, as much as we can say.
Yes. They are authentic. There are actually scientists and they're working on things. They are also saying that NASA is lying about the data of the water on Mars and everything else. Yeah. So they're lying, you know. They're showing us real pictures, but they're completely sanitized, and they're also lying about the water data on other planets, and they're also lying about our atmospheric data on Earth, you know, as far as global warming and all that jazz. Yeah. So yeah, these are the geopolitical things that they're trying to protect. Mostly the lie that they're telling.
They've actually made an announcement that they now believe that our solar system is awash with H2O.
Yeah, there's a lot of life out there. It is completely understandable in the real scientific community that there is water on other planets. I mean, we would have to be really stupid not to think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a standard, yeah.
There we go.
Here we go.
Rami?
Yes. Rami, would you add something to it?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. We have Neville's picture here. I hope you can see my screen again here. Can you see this one?
Whitner comes up. Whitner clears.
Ranger crazy.
It's very. Nah, it's slowly coming. It's very blurry, like, isn't it?
It's the Skype, isn't it?
You see something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
the Ranger crater?
That's it. It's come through. Well, this I found on in Ranger crater from Opportunity. It's actually not hidden very well. If you actually lighten up the image on the original, you can actually see it. It's like a sculpture of a horse type creature with a horn on its head and two horns coming up at the sides, with actually somebody sitting on the back of it riding it.
See it? Yeah.
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 You can actually, if you on the original, if you zoom into the face, you can actually see the eyes and nose and mouth very clearly. You know, it was really, I found this by accident, really. But it's my best way. It's one of my best finds so far. I found this in 2012. Actually, just enhanced it up a bit more with the PDS images the other week. But I've been trying to get other views of this, but I can't really find any. You know, you can see the radar on the back. It's got like a plumed hat on the top. You can actually see the legs coming up at the side, as if, you know how jockeys ride on horses, the legs scrunched right up, like that. It's holding onto something on the top of the. I think he's holding the top of the horn on the head.
How big is it, Nev? How big is it?
How big is it? It's I would say roughly about 2 meters tall, something like that. I couldn't really get the measurements. It's so far away, you know. It's just a guess, really.
That's a big one. 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the crater is off in the distance, so it will be a pretty big size, you know. But that's
the figure on the back. Then it's pretty much life size, yeah.
Oh yes, it's about the size of us, really.
Right.
You know, the horse is buried. I don't know whether the legs are there or not, because what they used to do is, I found other objects with like frames around the bottom, as if they frame them off, you know.
Yes.
As if like they're making like a special section for that image, you know, for that object. They create like a square section around it, and then they put the image inside of it. I mean, it has got a square section around it. You can see the square section in the back, but the rest of it's being buried or hidden. Further along on the image, there's actually other stuff there that I can't get clear, but it's being buried in the sand that's in the bottom of the crater. Around the back of the crater, there's loads of other stuff there, like that's pretty amazing to look at. I've actually done images of the other stuff in the past, but this horse and rider, I call it, is about my best image. The thing is, you can't really pick out your best image, because some days you find things that are good, and some days, you know.
I think many of the best picture is found by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Brett, what do you think about this picture?
It's I like it. It's very themed, and our Neville artistically drew some lines, and it looks very Mayan or Aztec or something like that. And I know that this image is probably themed because I've looked at so many Mars images. It looks like a beach, you know, in the main image, like there's a beach and it's washing ashore. It could be like some Atlantean symbolism. I can see the guy, the little warrior, very well, you know, that's riding on probably a sea creature, you know. I would imagine, because of the it looks like waves coming into a shore line. And if I were to look at the whole image, I would say it's themed, and I would be looking for Atlantean type symbols or shoreline type symbolism, you know, that reflected a seaside city, you know.
Martine?
I think it's amazing. I can see it. I can see how he's describing it. What amazes me about these objects is that they're so rich in artwork, and that they're very ornate and decorative. That's looking at it from an artistic point of view. But yes, I see the figure on the back. To be quite honest, I'm really surprised that Nev has described it in the way he does. I'm just surprised that you mentioned the figure on the back, because everyone knows that Nev and I have had a few disputes about the possibility of life forms on the surface. So I'm pleasantly surprised.
I'm not saying it's a real life form, it's a sculpture. It's
Yes, it's a statue. I agree.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
We all have so many different points of views, and that's what makes it all so great to push it all together in one group and get all the different points of views out in a debate like this one we have here. So this is great to hear a lot of different points of views.
It is great.
Absolutely.
Rami, what's your thought on
I
this?
love it. I love what Neville's did here. Beautiful work. It's exciting. It's a mind blower. It's you look at it and you scratch your head and you say, "Whoa!"
I think
I
Rami,
love.
Nev needs to do less gigapans and more anomaly hunting because I've seen some of his old work now and I'm really impressed with what he's found. You need to show more, Nev. You really do.
I know. I need to find the time, man. The time. I just haven't got enough time, man, in the day to do everything that I need to do, and it's crazy.
So sorry to interrupt you, but I would like to hear what Rami has to say to finish. Rami.
I said I think I summed it up in one word. It's exciting. It's beautiful. I love it. That's it.
That's it. Cool. Neville, your turn.
My turn.
No, it's your sorry, Billy.
Yes.
Billy, what's your thought on this?
Like Martine said, I was pleasantly surprised to see Neville produce this image. I was almost kind of shocked. I mean, in the beginning, me and Neville almost, when I first got into these groups, me and Neville bounced, we butted heads a couple of times.
Yeah.
We've kissed and made up. But this is a phenomenal piece. And the more that I look at it, and just based off of what I know in constellations and stars, this almost appears to be a warrior wrestling down this, maybe potentially some type of a bull. And I'm almost starting to wonder what constellation this actually represents in a different part of the sky. Maybe even from a perspective of a different planet, this is a constellation that we may not be aware of.
Yeah.
Because of the symbolism that's always used in what appears to be maybe this ancient Atlantean type culture. This to me definitely appears to be a real structure that's there, but maybe a soldier or a warrior wrestling this bull or this whatever type of animal this is. But to me, symbolistically, I can see how the artist is trying to represent potentially a constellation in the sky.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's a great picture. I would like to add to that. That first time I saw it, I was looking at the picture at the right side where there were no drawings on, and I couldn't see it. I had to look at it a few times, and it just slowly it came to me. And I was so fascinated by it after I have looking at it 4 or 5 times or something. That I was looking at this one for almost the whole evening that day. Just saying, wow, is it really what I see here? But sometimes people really need to take a good look at it and give it a chance and look at it again and again, give it a chance, give them time for their mind to work on the image they are watching. Not everybody work just as fast in the mind as some of us does when we are looking at a picture and see something right away. Many people really have to look at it many times to understand the picture and process it upside here in the brain to see what we see.
Well, the first time I found it, I just seen the horse. I never seen the figure on the back. And then when I looked at it again and again, I thought, that's got a rider on it. That's got something on the back of it, And then when I zoomed in a bit closer and done a few more enhancements on the image, I thought, that's a figure on the back, which I was amazed myself to find, But the thing that's it. People have got to take time to look at the image, but people don't want that now. They want something where they can see straight away, and they don't have to spend any time on it. They just want like instant gratification, as if there it is. We haven't got to do any work. We've just got to look, which I find really, like, it's just the way people are, isn't it? Everybody just wants everything now and quick, don't they? They're not prepared to spend any time on.
To look at it, assess it,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
speculate.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all perception.
It is,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I myself found one specific picture that I really like. It's a picture from the Mars Orbiter camera, and it's from the same picture as the famous Jupiter 2 UFO. That image is one of the best images I've ever have seen. There are so many anomalies in the whole image that is what is about 23 kilometers tall and 3 kilometers wide. Of course, we leave a link to that after, but let's take the image I chosen to take this time. It's not the Jupiter 2. It's this one we have here, and this is when you see it, the original picture from NASA. It's in the top left corner of the picture, and I find this very interesting. I have to remind myself constantly that we are seeing this from above, not from the ground side, because if we saw it from the ground side, that would look like a cliff with carvings and some sort of temple. But we have to remember we are seeing this from above with an angle of 120 degrees. I think it was something like that. So, what do you think of this image? Brad, what do you think of this one? I know you have been looking at exactly that.
Yes. I posted the same image a while ago. We have a different perspective on it, slightly. I see a big B. So that right away told me it was Sibelian reference. There was a big bee. There were other bees flying out of what looked like the caves of the underworld, Cappadocia or something like that. And I saw that there were like clowns that had a straw and that was sucking the honey out of the bee's ass, basically. And there's basically some there's a person running. Just looking at the image straight on, but basically what's being pointed out here is these little square facilities, like it's like it's on the side of a hill or a cave or something like that. It looks just the same way as like some of the areas of Cappadocia or some of the Navajo, reservation type areas. And these square things, I believe, are making an old, very ancient type of lettering, from Illyria. It seems that way to me, based on the symbolism of the entire image. I really like what Thomas is pointing out. I love this this area that shows the little living areas on the side of the hill. It looks very sculptural and relieved, artistically. These little things, that like spines or something that's going up toward the top of the image, kind of make up the legs of the bee. There's like a bee head, and you can see the bee body and sort of make out its wings a little bit. There's more to the image. Going up the hill, you can see a person carrying a vat of honey or something like that. And it's very symbolic of the old underworld stories, where Cybele took care of 20,000 people in the underworld of Turkey. Yeah. That's what it seems like to me.
Martina?
Well, I'm not altogether familiar. I've seen the picture, but yeah, I was trying to sort of analyse the scale of it when I saw it. But I mean, there's no way that those structures that run horizontally across the picture, they're definitely not natural. Each one of those squares, what would they be estimated scale-wise, do you think?
I would say from one end of this picture to another end, I would estimate it to be about 250 meters. Between 200 and 250 meters.
So they could easily be sort of...
A wild guess.
Yeah, they could easily be dwelling structures, couldn't they? Facilities of some sort. When I first saw it, I thought they were tracks, of some sort. But no, far too big for that. The figures, they look like figures on the right-hand side, don't they? Is this?
Yo, there is a little one, a little white one.
Yeah.
To the in the left side, but again, this is taken from 280 kilometers distance, so it's hard to say that this is a figure, and this figure would be about 20 meters wide if it was a figure. But yes, it looks like a figure.
It does look like a figure, but I'm looking at it from an artistic point of view. But you know me, I tend to look at the sort of minutiae of things rather than a large scale subject. But it's definitely anomalous. I don't know what it is.
Rami, what's your thought on
You
this?
said from one end to the picture to the other is 200 meters?
It's between 200 and 250 meters. That's a wild guess. It could be a bit more, it could be a bit less. But that's because I know the total wide from the original picture is 3.1 kilometers wide, and I see in my mind how much this is filling in the original picture, so I estimate it to be between 200 and 250 meters feet.
I can see what Brett is saying about the bee.
Yes.
I don't know what to think about it.
I suddenly see it now.
But, when I look at the squares, they like high tech or something.
Mm. It's a mystery.
Yes. It's a mystery.
Yes, what it is, I don't know.
No, neither do we. There are these lines and pipe-looking objects in the middle. That does not look natural in any way.
Definitely not natural.
No. Neville, what's your thought on this?
Who, me?
Yes,
Me.
you.
All right, okay. Well, I see something completely different. I see the white patch at the top looks like a mountain, looks like the top of a mountain. The black bits coming down with the lines looks like the side of the mountain, right? This is looking from above. Now, the objects with the squares, I think it looks like some ancient buildings. We can just see the what's left of them. The tops have been eroded away or something, I think it looks like a station of some kind next. How you put how you put the line along the bottom with in grey. It actually reminds me of like a station, as if that's like a station where people go onto it. Maybe it's underground track or something, or
the underground train, maglev.
Yeah, something like that's what it reminds me of. See, the thing is, we can't tell because we're looking from above, and the shadows and that are quite doesn't really give us anything to go off. But we've got to remember we're looking from above, which makes things totally different to see. But what it reminds me of ancient old structures, and it's at the bottom of like a cliff face. You see the white bit at the top with the white bits coming around the side. That's what it reminds me of. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Billy, what's your thought on this?
Yeah, this is a really interesting image. I'm glad you picked this one. To me, I'm kind of on the side of Neville, where it appears to be like a terminal or a station where people would gather at the bottom, maybe go up some type of escalator or to get to the top. And then I think that appears to me to go right into the mountain, maybe to maybe an underground area, or maybe just through the mountainside or the hillside itself. But it looks like a terminal. And I can also see some of these additional carvings above it. Matter of fact, directly above those rectangular structures, I see now. I can see what appears to be a head with an eye, and it actually appears to be a little kind of angry in a way. It's got teeth in the mouth and some type of a flare off the side of the neck. I'd like to darken that up myself just to take a closer look at it. But this definitely looks like some type of a hillside terminal to me. Is what I mean. Obviously, it was just speculation, but it does appear to look like a transportation terminal.
Yeah, yeah.
An access point to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, that's great. We've been through a lot of picture here today, and it's been great to hear some different views. We had 6 good pictures up today, and next time we will see if we can find some other good pictures, and we have some other good topics that we have to go through also. I know Brett has a lot of his a lot of good topics he wants to talk with us about, and I would like to thank you all for joining today. It has been awesome to have you here at the very first Rendezvous series, part number 1. So I would like to thank you all for joining us here.
Thank you.
And looking forward to have you and a lot of other admins in the Facebook group and the UFAH group with us next time. As many as possible, I hope. And I know we have a lot of interesting topics that we want to show to all the members of the different UFAH groups here. So we will also leave a link to the UFAH sites where you can find other links to the rest of the group and see what's have been posted lately and what's up and down and what's new and what's not. But for now, thank you all for watching, and we hope to hear your comments, see your comments in the comment box either on YouTube or on Facebook in the group where you might see this Rendezvous part 1 in. Until we see us again, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes,
See you
bye.
all.
All right.